Hello, beautiful humans. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. I could not be more excited. This is my first class coming live from our new space, Public Coffee. They have generously donated this event space. They are still closed. The coffee shop is still closed until further notice. But I am super excited to start this new chapter with all of my fellow amazing yoga instructors that have now created Mosaic Yoga. So we are happy to start to bring you more classes, more offerings. So let's jump into it. Today's class is a core and restore class. For the core part, we're going to be focusing on really isolating and smaller movements to really work those obliques, front and back side of the core. And of course, the restore part, the lovely resting into that heat we've created in the body. For class today, you may want a block or maybe a thick cushion, something. We're going to be putting it between the legs and squeezing in, so something that will offer a little bit of resistance. And then anything that you're going to want for your shavasana. If you want to, grab a blanket, grab some cushions, whatever you're going to want for the restore part and for shavasana. And I also suggest, if you work better with music, putting on a playlist that's a little more upbeat, and then finding something kind of slower when we get into the restore part, or just finding a nice mellow song for your shavasana for our final relaxation. So, all right, let's jump into it. So we are going to start on our knees. So we're going to come into a hero's pose, knees together, toes are pointed down, so you're pressing on the tops of the feet, and the sits bones are back on the heels. If this is a no-go for the knees, feel free to grab your prop, any sort of prop, a cushion, stick it in between the ankles at any height to kind of give you a little something to sit on. And if this is still a no-go, go ahead and just find a seat. But if you can, find a comfortable hero's pose. Coming onto the knees, sitting up nice and tall. Start to find some length in the spine. Bring the hands to the knees. Go ahead and close the eyes. Relax through the shoulders. And just start to tune in. Start to check in with the body. Maybe you got some wiggles to get out. And then really start to focus in on the breath. Starting to lengthen your inhale. Extend your exhale. And really looking to use the belly here. So as you draw the breath in, press the belly out, creating more space for those lungs to expand. And as you exhale, draw that belly in, starting to create a little contraction in the core, bringing a little more awareness to your center. We're drawing the breath in and out of the nose, and you're welcome to activate ujjayi breathing, finding that activation of those muscles in the back of the throat. Same muscles that fire up when you're fogging up a window or a mirror, that kind of sound. Beautiful work. Allow your awareness to just absorb anything going on around you, allowing your external environment to be a part of your experience. Starting to bring awareness to your internal environment, noticing how you're feeling in your body, how you're feeling energetically, how you're feeling emotionally. Letting your internal experience or your internal environment be a part of the experience. And then from here, we're just going to start in with those small, isolated movements. So think kind of cat-cow here, but very subtle. So we're going to inhale to start to press the belly out. Shoulders draw back. We bring a slight arch into the low back. And exhale, we start to round it out. Fronts of the shoulders can come together as you round out through the low back. So just really subtle here. Not to your full flexion through the spine. Starting to wake up the core, wake up those smaller muscles. All right, now we're going to add in some arms. So we're going to raise the hands forward as the belly comes forward, chest opens, arms come into goalpost, elbows drop back. And then exhale, round it out, fingers come forward as you tuck in through the chin. So we're making these movements a little more exaggerated. Inhaling to open through the chest, press it forward. Exhale to round it out, draw the belly in. Awesome work. We're going to bring the hands together into prayer. Lift the elbows, press into the hands so you get a little stretch in the wrists. And then we're going to take that same subtle movement but side to side. So just moving through the torso. Side to side, trying to keep the hips isolated, trying to keep the shoulders isolated. There might be a little bit of movement, but really focusing on getting those obliques side to side. Now we're going to come back to some of these movements here later on in the practice. You might start to feel a little bit more into your core. If you'd like, take the arms out to the side. Awesome work. When you're ready, on an inhale, send the arms up towards the sky, and exhale, dive it forward. Come forward into a child's pose. Arms turned up, palms turned up so the shoulders rest. Release the head down. It's okay if it doesn't touch. Awesome work. Walk the fingertips over towards the right. Extend out through that whole left side body. Walk the fingers back towards center. Walk them all the way over towards the left. Open up through the right side body. Stay connected to the breath. Awesome work. We're going to walk the hands back towards center. We're going to inhale to start to raise up. Fingertips reach out as you come up. Exhale, bend the elbows, bring them into goalposts. Inhale, broaden through the chest, shoulder blades draw together. Exhale, prayer hands, heart center. Awesome work. When you're ready, we're going to lift the booty off of the heels, remove any props that may be there. We're going to plant the hands, come into a tabletop. We're going to take those movements a little bit bigger here, so working through cat-cow. Inhaling to lower the belly. This time the pelvis tilts up, heart lifts forward, gaze lifts. Exhale, round it out, belly draws in and up. Move from the core. Move from your belly button. Let the belly button draw in as you hug the ribs in. Let the belly button come down as you find a little release. Awesome work. We're coming to a neutral spine, and then we're taking those movements side to side. So again, subtle movements here. There might be a little wagging in the tail, but we don't want, full throttle there. So just nice side to side extension here. Really connecting to those obliques. Awesome work. Now from here, we're going to send the knees out wide, big toes to touch. We're going to send the hips back to a child's pose. We won't be here for very long. We're going to do a child's pose push-up. So the knees are out wide, big toes are touching. If you can, try to keep the feet on the ground. My hips aren't open enough for that, so my feet will be raising off the ground. Try to keep them on the ground. Again, it's okay if they don't. So we're going to reach the hands forward. We're going to take the gaze up. Inhale to come forward and up to tabletop. Exhale, draw the elbows together, bend in the elbows, lower the chest down to hover. Oh, my feet are staying. Awesome work. Inhale, press back up, strong in that core. And exhale, send it all the way back to wide leg child's pose. And we'll repeat here for a few times. So inhale, up through tabletop, neutral spine. Belly draws in, elbows draw in, exhale all the way down. Try to hover the chest. Try to lower the hips if you can. Again, my butt's up in that air. Awesome, come back up and send it back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, up through tabletop. Exhale, lower down. Hover the chest. Inhale, press back up. And exhale, send it back. Last one, you got this. Inhale through your tabletop, wide knees. Exhale, elbows graze the sides of the ribs as you lower down. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, send the hips all the way back. Awesome, take a few rounds of breath in your wide leg child's pose. If you'd like a little thread the needle here, bring the right arm underneath the left. That right shoulder finds the ground. Left fingers can stay reaching up towards the sky, or you can raise them up, rest them at the low back, or reach for that alternate thigh. Find that breath. Awesome work. One more deep round of breath here. When you're ready, if that left hand is hooked, release it. Send it overhead. Uncross through that right hand, re-extend, and then switch it out. Take that left arm underneath the right, little thread the needle, drop that shoulder down. Again, that right arm can stay extended overhead or reach up and over, could rest at the low back, or try to find that left hip crease. Breathe here. Awesome work. Re-extend that right arm overhead if it was hooked. Uncross through the arms, reach them overhead. Awesome, come back up through tabletop. Draw the knees underneath the hips, prop the toes. Spread out through the fingers, find a solid connection to the hands. Press into the feet, press into the knees. Draw belly in, hug ribs in, extend through the spine. From here, we're gonna slowly start to hover the knees, root back through the heels. And then we're gonna continue to lift the hips, nice straight spine. Head comes between the biceps till you're in a bent knee downward dog. Really look or focus on the spine right here. We want nice extension. So if you're rounding out, bend the knees as much as you need to be able to find that length through the spine. You can start to pedal through the feet. Maybe the legs start to straighten, but notice if that causes you to round out. We want to keep those hips lifted, core drawing in, nice extended spine. Awesome work. Now from here, this might feel a little silly, but just give it a try. We're going to take those side to side movements with the torso. So it's going to be a little more challenging here. Subtle movements. And we're not swaying side to side. We're not getting the shoulders and the booty involved. We really just want to isolate, move through that torso. Awesome work. When you're ready, come back to neutral. Inhale to start to extend the right leg up towards the sky. One deep round of breath here. Hips are squared, right hip bone down towards the ground. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee towards nose. Round it out as you shift forward through plank. 2 more like this. Inhale, re-extend, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee towards nose. Belly draws in and up. Last one. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, knee towards nose. This time, step the foot between the hands. Come to your low lunge. Take a moment here to really ground down towards the feet. Back knee could lower if you'd like. On an inhale, send the arms forward, up and back. Finding crescent lunge. Squaring through those hips. Right hip draws back, left hip shifts forward. Arms can extend, they can come into goalposts, or they can come to the hips. Awesome work. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open up, warrior 2, pivot that back heel down. Arms extended. We've got an external rotation of that front knee, so we're opening up through the hips. Spine nice and extended. All right, from here, we're taking those small movements in the torso, side to side. So notice how I'm not going all the way forward and all the way back. It's just subtle movement through the core. You can take this slow. If you got a good beat going, you can take it a little quicker, but really work on that isolation. Nice. Find your breath. Awesome work. From here, we're gonna straighten through that front leg. You could toe heel the back foot forward if it feels a little wide. We're gonna open up through the arms and then reach forward. We're coming into triangle, so that front leg is straight but not locked in the knees. Reach, reach, reach as far as you can without changing the shape of the body. Drop the arms down. Awesome work. Now from here, that right hand can come down to a block towards the ground, or it can hover. We're gonna bring in, once again, that small, subtle movement just through the torso. So we're just working those obliques. Whew, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling that core. All right, now we're gonna take this movement a little bigger. So we're gonna still engage the obliques, but the whole torso is gonna raise. So we're gonna raise all the way up, reverse our triangle, and then nice and slow, lower all the way down, back to triangle. All right, so this is where we will repeat. So from that engagement in the core, we're raising up, reverse triangle, and exhale, nice and slow, down to triangle. You could even send that left arm overhead for a little extended stretch. So take it nice and slow, really use those obliques. Awesome work. One more, inhale up to reverse. Exhale, we're gonna cartwheel the hands all the way down. Bend that front knee, plant the left hand, start to open up to a twisted lunge. You can lower that back knee down. Hand can come to that right knee. And you could open up, you could extend that arm up, whatever level of a twist feels right for you here. Find that breath. Excellent work. When you're ready, inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, untwist, release the right hand down. Draw the right foot back through plank pose. Awesome. Find your plank. Spread out through the hands, press the ground away. Maybe the knees drop down and you're in half plank. We want to try to get the hips low so that we create a nice diagonal line with the back. Or with the spine, but if this causes pain in the low back, I'd prefer you have the hips up here a little higher until you build that core in the strength in the core to where you can lower those hips down. It might also be a flexibility thing if you have tight hip flexors. So just work with that. If there's any compression in the low back, raise the hips a little higher. All right, now stay here, or if you want a little more, we're gonna twist the hips side to side. Small movements. We're not dipping the hip all the way down. We're just small, little twists. Awesome work. Come back to neutral. We'll meet in downward dog if you want. Let's lower all the way down to the belly. Press into the tops of the feet. Elbows draw together. Inhale, raise up to a little cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, raise up, shoulders draw together. Exhale, lower down. For the last few, maybe try to hover the hands, really engaging in that back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, open through the chest, shoulders draw back. Exhale, lower. Last one, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Plant the hands, prop the toes, press the ground away, up through plank. Hips up, downward dog. Whew, awesome work. Take a few rounds of breath in your down dog, or pause and take a drink. All right, my friends, from downward dog, inhale to raise that left leg up. Don't worry about how high it's coming. Keep it nice and squared. So we're not opening up through the hip. Left hip is down towards the ground. One more deep inhale. Exhale, knee towards nose as you shift forward through plank. Inhale, re-extend, 2 more. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, knee towards nose. Step the foot between the hands. Awesome work. Take a moment to settle into your low lunge. Again, you can lower that back knee down if that feels right for you. Find your balance. Find that squaring through the hips. And then when you have your foundation, inhale, raise up to crescent lunge. Awesome work. That back knee can stay down. You're welcome to be in low crescent lunge or high crescent lunge. Working with those hips. Left hip drawing back, right hip shifting forward. Awesome work. One more inhale to lengthen. Exhale, open up, find your warrior 2. And we've got that nice extended spine. We've got that external rotation of the knee, opening up through the hips. And we're gonna take those side to side, little isolated movements. Really find that core strength. And if you'd like, engage Mula Bandha. Lift that root lock, lift the pelvic floor. That pelvic floor lift, that Mula Bandha activation, that's key to activating our low abs. Awesome work. A few more here in our warrior 2. We've got the legs active. That back thigh is lifting. We're bending into that front knee and isolating through the movements. All right, here we come into triangle. So we're gonna toe heel the foot forward if you'd like. Straighten through that front leg. Scoop out through the hips. Keep that spine extended without changing anything in the body. Lean forward as far as you can and then tilt the arms down. Awesome work. Again, that left hand finds a block, finds the ground, or just rests. And then with a nice straight spine, isolated core, we're moving up and down. And it's okay if you've just got a smaller range of motion. If you feel like you're not even moving too much, take it slow, especially if this is something new that you've never done before. We're really working to isolate those obliques. And working on the balance while we're at it. All right, when you're ready, we're gonna inhale to raise up, reverse triangle. Exhale, nice and slow. Make it all the way back to triangle. Maybe that right arm extends all the way up and over. Take it nice and slow. Use that strength in the obliques. The arms are there to look pretty, for decoration, but really we're focusing on the core here. So even if you want to maybe just bring the hands to the hips here or to the sides to really bring that awareness here, or keep it flowing with the arms. But we're not rushing through this. We're not throwing our body around. We're really working to stabilize. Beautiful work. All right, one more inhale all the way up, reverse triangle. Exhale, start to cartwheel the hands all the way down. We're taking our twisted lunge. So that back heel pivots up. You can lower the back knee down. Left hand can come to the knee as you extend and twist. Maybe it reaches up towards the sky. Take your time. Don't force a twist. Don't crank yourself into it. Find your breath. If the breath is staggered, if you feel like you have to hold it, you've gone too deep in your twist, allow yourself to release a little bit. Awesome, one more deep round of breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, untwist, plant the hand, draw the left foot back. We're back in our plank pose. All right, belly draws in and up. Again, you can lower down to the knees. Stay here in plank. This is a great core strengthener. If you want a little more, raise the right foot, tap it out to the right, bring it back in. Raise the left foot, tap it out to the left, bring it back in. Nice and slow. Getting in a little work for the booty. All right, one more. Tap it to the right and center. Tap it to the left and center. Elbows draw together, nice and slow. Lower all the way down to the belly. Point in the toes. Press into the feet. Lengthen through the spine. Inhale, raise up to cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower again. Maybe the hands hover this time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Two more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Plant the toes, plant the hands. Press the ground away up to plank or half plank. Inhale, downward dog. Awesome work. Find your breath. We're going to look up at the hands. We're going to start to travel the feet forward. However you'd like to get there, coming towards a forward fold. Inhale, half lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, either reverse swan dive or ragdoll. If ragdoll would feel good here, just nice and slow. Making your way to standing. Inhale, send the arms out and overhead. Exhale, prayer hands, heart center. Awesome work. All right, so you're probably at the front of your mat. If you want, step to the center. We're gonna take the feet out wide, or you could just step the feet off the mat. I like to have the grip of the mat. And we're gonna turn the heels in, toes out. Awesome work, so we've got that double external rotation through the hips. We're gonna inhale to reach up through the arms. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, come down into goddess. Inhale, re-extend. Exhale, lower down, maybe a little bit further. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, lower down, we're pausing here. Arms can stay in goalposts, they can come to prayer, they can come to the thighs. Find that mula bandha, lift that pelvic floor. Awesome work, find that engagement in the core, lengthening through the spine, firing up those legs. All right, here we go. Either hands to heart or hands extend. We're taking those side to side movements just like we had in our warrior two. Now we're doing it with both knees open, opening through the hips, building some strength in the legs, and working that core. Fantastic work. Whew, feeling those legs. All right, now you're welcome to stay here with this side to side movement. Or we're gonna bring it forward and back, this time through the hips. So we're really targeting those lower abs. So you really wanna find that mula bandha activation, that lift of the pelvic floor, the activation of the perineum. And then subtle movements, hands could be at hips, heart, whatever you want. We're gonna bring the hips forward and back. It's gonna help bring more mobility into the hips, into the low back. Awesome work. Might feel silly. If there's someone in the room with you, just look over to them and tell them you're welcome. All right, a few more here. Whew. And that mula bandha activation, pelvic floor lifts. Awesome work, one more. On your next inhale, reach it up straight through the legs, toes come forward, feet are parallel. Exhale, dive it forward, forward fold. Woo-wee, nice work. Take a few rounds of breath in this wide leg forward fold. If you've got some extra heat in the body, feel free to let a sigh out of the mouth. Maybe a little lion's breath with a nice All right. When you're ready, we're inhaling up to a half lift. Find that extension through the spine. Find that activation in the core. Belly draws in and up. Mula Bandha lifts. Awesome work. Hands can come to ground, to the blocks. They can come to the hips. They can extend out, or if you want to get a little G with it, bring the fists together. So with this extended spine, this engagement in the core, we're taking it side to side. Awesome work. If you want to add a little flavor, hopefully you got some good music going. Yeah, we've got this movement side to side. Soften in those knees. It's tempting to lock them out. Keep that spine extended. Keep the gaze towards the ground so you have a nice neutral neck. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath here. When you're ready, come back to center. Exhale, release it down. Beautiful work. All right, we're gonna start to toe heel the feet together till the heels are underneath the hips. We're gonna lower the hips all the way down. Nice, coming into a yogi squat. You could squat down onto a block or a stack of books. You could also hover. If you're hovering, then the knees and the toes are all gonna be pointing forward. So if you're just in a, but if you're down in a low squat, you want the feet forward. If the hips are coming below the knees, you want the toes out and hips down. You can see in both the spine is extended. Whether I'm here or I'm here, I've still got that nice length in the spine. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath here. All right. Then if it feels okay to get out of this, just sit back on the booty and come to a seat. If that doesn't feel awesome, plant the hands, lift the hips, and then make your way to a seat. All right, one last little bit of core work. We'll get into the restore part. So this is where you may want a block. It's not necessary, and some people think of props as a crutch. That's totally wrong. Props are your best friend. But this is just to bring in a little more activation. So you can definitely do this without the block or without something to press in on, but you might get more out of it with a little prop. So you're gonna stick it between the thighs. We don't want it up by the root. We don't want it between the knees. Just right at the thighs here. And we're gonna play with boat pose. So we're gonna come back onto the sits bones. And if you'd like, keep the toes pointed, toes on the ground. We've got a nice V shape with the body, belly drawing in, ribs hugging in, nice extended spine. Arms could extend out, or they could kind of come to support the knees. All right, so squeezing on that block, and we're just gonna start to raise the right leg up and lower it down. The left leg up, lower down. Again, you can have those toes on the ground, or if you want, hover the toes. We're just raising the foot parallel and down, but we're squeezing in on that block, so we're getting some activation here. You could also release the arms. We've still got a lift in the chest. Squeeze that block. Awesome work. Now here, bring the shins parallel. Squeeze in on that block. And if you can, bring that side to side movement through the core. Again, the toes could lower down if you want a little support there. We're kind of reaching out through the hands. We're not rocking side to side. We're just slowly working those obliques. Squeeze the block. Whew, awesome work. All right, come back to neutral. Squeeze the block if you'd like. Maybe bring the hands behind the knees and start to extend through the legs. Maybe that's what you want to work with, especially if you have tighter hamstrings. Notice if when you extend the legs, you rock back or you come out of position. We really want to keep that chest lifting. So you can work with that double leg lift. Or if you want a little bit more, I'm feeling my hip flexors. We're going to lower all the way down into low boat. Squeeze the block and then raise back up. Awesome work. A few more here. Last one. Awesome work. Let's remove the prop. Bring the bottoms of the feet to touch. Let the knees drop open. Whew, I felt that in my hip flexors. Let's find that solid connection down to the sits bones. Inhale to lengthen up. Let the knees drop heavy. And exhale, fold forward. If you want, if you have a block, you're welcome to bring it in to rest the head down. And don't worry about how far forward you're coming. We don't want to grab the feet and pull ourselves down. And we really just want to meet ourselves where we are, where our bodies are in that moment. So if you do notice that you want to grab and yank, turn the palms up so that you're not even tempted. Just let gravity do the work here. A few more rounds of breath. Fantastic work. When you're ready, slowly start to raise it up. We're going to send the right leg out. Left heel pulls in towards the root. And if your feet are off the ground, feel free to turn so that I have really bony heels, so I like to have the pad underneath. So I always adjust so that I can stay on my mat. So we're gonna sit up nice and tall. And we're gonna start with shoulders facing forward. We're gonna inhale to lengthen up, maybe the arms reach up. And then exhale, we're just gonna arch it over towards the right. You could also bring in a block, maybe to rest the arm, the forearm, but again, shoulders staying forward as you reach over and get a nice stretch of those obliques. Starting to slow things down, so really stay with the breath. And you may be further down than me, you may be higher up. Just don't force anything. Just allow yourself to be where you are. Awesome work. When you're ready, we'll inhale to come back up through center. We're going to plant the left hand, swing the right arm forward and up as we lift through the hips. Open up. Have a little variation on wild thing, but getting it nice. Or maybe even a side plank, getting a nice opening here. Awesome, release it down. Now this time, shoulders are gonna square towards the leg. So we're gonna inhale to lengthen towards that right leg. And exhale, fold it forward. Again, if you are tempted or if you are one of those that grabs onto the limb and forces yourself down, turn the palms up, let them rest on the ground. Maybe they come to a block. Maybe the block comes in to bring the leg closer, or maybe the head comes all the way down to the leg. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath. Fantastic work. Nice and slow. Start to raise back up. And then we're just gonna switch out through the legs. So we're bringing that left heel in towards the, right heel in towards the root. Left leg extends. Toes are flexed back, nice and active. And we're starting with the shoulders squaring forward. Inhale to lengthen, maybe the arms reach up. And exhale, arch it over. One of the things that I hear often when people find out that I'm a yoga teacher, they say, oh, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. And I want to tell them, you've never seen me practice. I am pretty inflexible just as a human, not just for a yoga instructor. And that's been a big challenge for me in doing these videos, is really looking at my practice. And it's so easy to let the ego get caught up in what it's supposed to look like, or, oh, it doesn't look as pretty as someone else's. You know, my practice is strong, but it's not very visually appealing because I have a tighter body, I have a stiffer body. And so that's been a real struggle for me to remember to just practice what I preach, to meet my body where it is, let it be what it is, and find ways to challenge it. So just do the best. Just allow yourself to be where you are. Awesome work. When you're ready, come back up, and we're gonna plant that right hand. Left arm swings up and around as we lift through the hips and open up. Nice work. One more deep inhale, and exhale, release it down. All right, shoulders square to the leg. We're gonna inhale to lengthen and exhale, dive up forward. Again, you can bring in that block to maybe rest the head, maybe on the leg, maybe the arms rest down on a prop, but don't force it. Nice stretch through the back oblique, through the low back, into the hips. Let that right knee stay heavy. Awesome work. A few more rounds of breath. All right, we're gonna slowly inhale to come back up through center. We're gonna draw both legs in and maybe shake them out. Make sure we're good on time. All right, we're gonna swing the legs around. We're gonna come back into our wide-legged child's pose. Knees out wide, big toes to touch, hips go all the way back, arms walk forward as you lower the head and chest down. It's okay if the head doesn't touch. If you wanna release through the neck, bring in a block, a blanket, a pillow, anything that you'd like. And this could also be nice, maybe if you want to go a little deeper into the hips, get a little release for the back. If you have something to kind of rest on the low back, something to add a little weight to really ground down, that can feel really lovely. Find your breath. Connect to the earth. Connect to yourself. A few more rounds of breath here. As you feel ready, we'll slowly start to raise the head up and draw the knees together. We're going to stretch those obliques that we did so much work on. So we're going to come into mermaid pose. I don't know, I think I've only taught this maybe a handful of times. I kind of forget about it sometimes. So we're going to come onto the sits bones. The left knee is going to be bent with the heel in. Right knee is going to be bent with the foot out. So it'll look a little something like this. And it's okay however the legs are positioned, maybe they're a little more, together. But we want to try to find a solid connection to the sits bones. We're going to lengthen up through the crown of the head. We'll plant the right hand down. Inhale to reach that left arm up and over. Release the head. Nice work. Feel that nice side stretch. Two more rounds of breath here. All right, inhale, come back up. This time we're going to plant the left hand down. Maybe even come down onto the elbow, or maybe the elbow releases down to a block. And we're going to inhale to swim that right arm up and over. Find that side stretch on the other side. Awesome work. Breathe into it. One more deep round of breath. And we'll inhale to come back up through center, and we'll just switch out through the legs. So we've got that right heel coming in towards the root, knee dropping down, left heel comes back behind you, knee is bent. Find that connection to sits bones. Awesome work. Inhale to lengthen up. We're planting that left hand down, swimming the right arm up and over, finding that nice, beautiful side stretch. Now notice if the knee starts to want to creep up, allow it to drop down. Doesn't need to touch, but just feeling that weight down. Or if that's a little too much, you can even, if you've got some space, you can slide a prop underneath. Awesome work. On an inhale, come back up through center. And exhale, release it down. Again, that right hand comes to the ground, up and over. You could come down onto the elbow. You could come down onto a prop. Ooh, but yeah, getting that nice full side stretch. Nice. Don't stress through the neck. You can either release it down to get a little stretch here, or you could keep it neutral so that it doesn't get a kink in it or not start feeling so awesome. All right, a few more rounds of breath. On your next inhale, we'll come back up through center. We've done some side to side stretching. Let's do forward and back before we get into our Shavasana. So we're just gonna come into a simple forward fold. We're gonna extend the legs out. If you know that you have tight hamstrings or a tight low back, sometimes putting a blanket underneath the booty, just getting that little bit of lift, can help you to find that extension through the spine to come forward, to come up and forward. You can also bend the knees as much as you like. And if you're feeling like you just want to give yourself a little hug, keep the knees super bent, draw the chest towards the thighs, and wrap the arms around. You can also have the legs a little straighter, or you could straighten them out, not locking into the knees, but keeping them still soft. And however you'd like to get down there, if you want to reach up and fold forward, or if you just want to slowly make your way down. And again, this is where I encourage to notice your natural tendencies. Do you have a tendency to grab the legs or grab the feet and pull yourself down? It's like, yeah, I can completely fold in half, but my back does not like that. So I've got to be aware. We just want to be aware of our bodies. Just come into the forward fold that feels right for you. Maybe you bring in some blocks. Maybe you stack some props to be able to find a release through the low back. Awesome work. One more deep round of breath. All right, slowly making your way back up. Done forward fold, now we'll do a little backward fold, back bend. So we're gonna do a fish pose. You're welcome to use a block, a bolster really works good for this, or you can just use your elbows, or if fish is in your practice, you're welcome to just, prop up onto the head. But I'll show you how to do it with props. So with a block, or bolster, blanket, whatever, you're going to lay back so that it hits right at the ribs and brings this lift through the thoracic spine. And you're gonna drop the head back. Again, maybe you can come all the way onto the top of the head if that doesn't feel too strenuous for the neck. You could also bring in a blanket or a wadded up flannel to support the head here. But we're just looking to get some support in a little back bend here. Arms can come out to goalposts, out into a T. If you're working with a bolster or a blanket or something that has a little more fullness to it, you still want to leave some space for the shoulders to drop back and down. Just a nice release for the front side of the body, a little stretch for the core, a little spinal flexion. Awesome work. If it doesn't feel good to have the legs extended, bend the knees. Maybe take the feet out wide and let the knees fall in. So in our practice, we do want to challenge ourselves. We want to challenge the body. We want to find that edge, but we don't want to jump over the edge. We don't want to push ourselves off the edge. So it just takes that mindfulness, that awareness, that continuing to check in with your body and allowing your body to be where it is today. It may be different than when you practiced last time, and we don't even want to be focusing on what we did last time. Every practice is different. Every practice is individual. Awesome work. Just a couple more rounds of breath here. All right, when you're ready to come out, if you have sensitivity in the neck, you want to bring the hands to the head and raise it up. And then you can either just sit up all the way or roll off, however you'd like to get out of this. And we're gonna remove any props that we're using, clear our space. And if there are any other movements you'd like to take to kind of round out your practice, seated cat-cow is feeling really nice for me. If there are any other movements or stretches that you'd like to take, think about the next 10 or 20 breaths to kind of explore, maybe some twisting, coming down onto the back. Knees out wide, feet out wide, knees bent, maybe some windshield wipers, maybe a happy baby, maybe a reclined pigeon, whatever you'd like to play with. And as you feel ready, we're going to start to make our transition to our Shavasana. You're welcome to put on some pretty music, something that will help you relax. You're also welcome, I encourage you to take as much time as you want in Shavasana. So we only have a few minutes for that, so I've got about 5 minutes practice for Shavasana. If you want to take longer, I encourage you to do so. So just start to make your way towards your Shavasana, however that looks for you. Feel free to use props. Bring in blankets, bring in pillows, create a little pillow heaven, as my brother calls it. But take as much time as you'd like to set up your Shavasana, and it can be traditional corpse pose on the back. You could lie on the side, lie on the belly, use props to support you in any way. And if you're not wanting to, get into this resting position, if you've got more to do this afternoon and you want to keep the energy high, you're welcome to come into a seated meditation. Just allow yourselves to relax, to release, and to feel. Feel the effects of your practice. Feel the effects of your mindful breathing. Allow that energy, that prana, to infiltrate your body, your mind, your soul. And just give yourself the gift of this self-care, this love, this time to just be. Again, if you are able to dedicate a little more time to your Shavasana, please, please, please do. And when you're ready to start to wrap up your practice, just slowly start to bring a little movement back into your body. And then before we rise, I just want to leave you with a little wish, a little prayer. So if you will, still lying on the back, or if you're seated, wherever you find yourself, bring prayer hands together. Bring the thumbs up to the third eye. May you go forth today with peace in your thoughts. Bring the thumbs down to the lips. May you go forth today with peace in your words. Bring the thumbs to the heart. May you go forth today with peace in your soul. As you feel ready, if you're lying down, gently start to make your way up to a comfortable seat. Taking your time. As you feel ready, I invite you to bring the hands to heart center, to tuck the chin down towards the chest, close the eyes, and offer yourself gratitude. Gratitude for carving out this time, for stepping on your mat, for giving yourself the gift of this practice and this self-love. Thank you so much for joining me today for the first class in this beautiful space. I am excited to bring you so many more offerings. I see you, I honor you, and I bow to you. Namaste. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Again, I'm so excited to start filming more here. You'll find this video on the Mosaic Facebook page. We'll be adding it to our YouTube channel. I will also be adding this to my personal YouTube channel, Namaste at Home Yoga with Jenny Wigham. So make sure to check that out. Please subscribe and like and share and all those fun things so that we can just get more people into our community. Again, this class is donation-based. It's not necessary. They are accepted. I put a link for my Venmo in there, but if you needed this as a gift today, I am happy to bless you with this gift of this practice. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you all soon.